That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Honey? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Apart, 'cause baby you still got a part of my soul. You're worth it, no question. When the sun starts fading out, I know without a doubt I don't wanna be without your love. I wanna hear it now. No, we don't need a crowd. We'll sleep under the clouds. I always wanna you, but things I can't figure out. You're worth it, no question. If I could navigate the stars, I'd still rather be right where you are. There isn't a riddle. Drew a heart right on my head with the light of the middle. Didn't think it was simple, made no question. And when the sun starts fading out, I know without a doubt I don't wanna be without your love. I wanna hear it now. No, we don't need a crowd. We'll sleep under the clouds. I always wanna you, but things I can't figure out. It's so long to all my questions, they are so gone. 'Cause when I'm with you I feel so strong. And I've been waiting for this so long. There ain't no question in mind. Never make me question what else. You're here with me now, here with me now. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when. No more asking why. There ain't no question in mind. When the sun starts fading out, I know without a doubt I don't wanna be without your love. I wanna hear it now. No, we don't need a crowd. We'll sleep under the clouds. I always wanna you, but things I can't figure out. And so long to all my questions, they are so gone. 'Cause when I'm with you I feel so strong. And I've been waiting for this so long. You're worth it, no question.
That was Early Wave with No Question. Good morning. Today is Friday, June 16th. Thank you for tuning in. I am RJ Shine, and we have so much planned for this morning. So come on, get your freshly ground coffee, pull up your chair, get on your best audio equipment, and let's go through this news and some spirituality and some memes this week. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get straight into the content. There are two great days in a person's life: the day we are born and the day we discover why. Have you questioned or maybe thought maybe a little bit more about why you were born and that why you were created in this reality? And maybe thought that you were special and that you actually have a purpose, and that to understand this purpose, you actually have to search and try to find out exactly what your purpose is. And when you do, I promise you, you will start to feel right as rain. And everything that maybe you couldn't understand might actually start to make sense to you. But first, you have to start to understand and discover why you're here. And you can do that here with me on the Rise and Grind, because I'm also still learning as to why I'm here. Let's keep going, okay? Good morning, everybody. Did you know that consistency is harder when there's no one clapping for you? So in these situations, you must clap for yourself. During those times, you should always be your biggest fan. It doesn't matter how many views or how many likes you get. It should always about you. It should always be about you expressing who you are, genuinely, authentically, and through truth. And then the right people that want to be around you are going to be attracted to you, because if you're not acting genuine and authentic, all you're ever going to do is attract people who don't know who you truly are. So again, consistency is the hardest thing to keep when you're the only one that's cheering for you. But guess what? The best news is that you're all that matters. Everything that you've ever wanted to do is completely within your grasp, as long as you get up and start believing it each and every day. Okay? That's all you have to do. And be consistent. This one says, believe what your heart tells you, never just what other people say. Now, it's nice to be complimented. It's nice for people to take notice at your efforts, but always remember that you are your biggest fan. You are your biggest critic. And unless you put the pressure on yourself to perform, you're never going to do things that are greater than you thought you could. But when you finally do step outside of who you think you might become and then become who you truly are, there's nothing that you can't do. I promise, okay? It says, stop waiting for things to happen, this one says. Go on and get out there and make them happen. Do your dreams. Follow your heart. Follow your passions. There's never been a greater time than now, okay? This one says, I am not in control. I'm not. But I am deeply loved by the one who is. And so are you, if you just believe it. Also, did you know about being magnetic? When you love yourself, you glow from the inside. You attract people who love, respect, and appreciate your energy. Everything starts with how you feel about yourself. Start feeling worthy, valuable, and deserving of receiving the best that life has to offer you. And it doesn't matter the WEF and Donald Trump and the forest fires and all this stuff taking place. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you become magnetic as to who you truly are and why you're here, and start doing things. This one says, a man who is not able to develop and use his own mind is bound to be the slave of other men who use their minds. Are you going to be a slave, or are you going to be free? The question is up to you. The tiny seed knew that in order to grow, it needed to be dropped in the dirt, covered in darkness, and struggled to reach the light. So be planted and bloom and rise and become the true flower and the fruit of who you truly are. Everybody's waiting. And this one, last meme before we get to another song break, says, music is the great uniter. An incredible force. Something that people who differ on everything and anything else can actually have music in common. You know, this is one of the most beautiful things in my heart, is that I have a deep passion for music, and especially music, but new music. I'm not stuck in the 80s. I'm not stuck in the 90s. I'm not stuck in the early 2000s. No, every single day, our team here, me and the Goldsmith, search the entire internet to find brand new music to share with you, so that you can find other types of songs where you can make new memories through, new experiences, and just open up your heart and feel again. So thanks for tuning in at 6:24 a.m. Friday, finally, June 16th. I am RJ Shine. We'll get into some news after this song break. Thank you for tuning in. It means more to me than you'll ever know.
I could take my last breath, wouldn't change things at all.
And that brand new song was by Fiji, and that was To Be With You. Come on, let's get into the news. I hope everybody's up. I hope you have your coffee. Check this out. Look at this. This is crazy and hilarious. What?
You eating a snake?
It's true, okay? So what many people don't know, which I'm going to let you know, is yes, it says here in this link here, added context, while herbivore animals like deer have been known to eat a variety of food, including insects, small birds, and even small mammals, in some cases, it says here, deer may encounter snakes while foraging and actually consume them too as a source of protein. So if any of you thought that deer were plant eaters, I got news for you. Most things in the animal kingdom also eat other animals. So don't be shamed, don't be ruined, don't be fooled by all the fake vegans. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into some of the news. I am RJ Shine. The time is now 6:30 a.m. in the Central Standard Time. I hope you're not late for work. Check this out. This is Marina Bay Sands. This is in Singapore. This has to be one of the craziest looking buildings I've ever seen built. It just blows my mind to see that they could build something at this feat. It's like a ship on top of a building. This is just incredible. I wonder what it would be like on this top deck here. I mean, wow, that is just incredible. What a feat. As a construction worker, that kind of stuff just blows my mind. Check this out. Coming in off of the business, it says here, robo-taxis loom large as one of the biggest wild cards in modeling for how quickly the world can decarbonize the transportation sector. No. So first off, we're going to get into more links in a bit on what's actually taking place with these so-called self-driving vehicles. And I got to tell you, it's not a very good report so far. And I don't want to get into a robo-taxi. I don't trust AI to drive. I don't think it's capable of it. All these different types of pushes for decarbonization is just about the control of our free movement throughout the realm, which is actually our creator-given right. We're going to continue on. Did you know California's $100 billion electric bullet train, yes, will run entirely on solar power? I think this is a great article. I'm really looking forward to see more of these types of technologies. As we move into the kingdom, we are going to be starting to phase in more and more of these eco-friendly type devices and systems. And that's what we're looking forward to moving into the future. Continuing on to this next one. Now you know, it says here why Zelensky has nearly unlimited to Americans' finances. Let's check out what Chuck Grassley has to say. As it loads. Thank you for tuning in. Let's hear what he has to say. Why is it not playing? Do I have to refresh? Come on, Chuck. Tell us what matters. Let me do a refresh. Hold on. Hold tight, everybody, while tuning in. We do have technical issues from time to time. We try to do our best to get through without having them, but they do show up. Well, let's see if this works now. It should.
So now, let me assist for the purposes of more transparency on this subject. The 1023 produced to the House committees redacted reference that the foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 2 audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Joe Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot. The 1023 also indicates that then Vice President Joe Biden may have been involved in bereavement employing Hunter Biden.
So, what do we have here? We've got Chuck coming out saying that they've got blackmail They've got blackmail on Hunter and Joe Biden in the Ukraine. So, it isn't under or beneath them to blackmail their way to everything. The people that run this realm, that's the only currency that they understand is blackmail and control. So now you're starting to see it leak out into the Senate. The Senate House in the United States of America. It's the larger of the two kangaroo courts as opposed to the House. But now we've got Chuck Grassley coming out saying they actually have blackmailable information on Hunter and Joe Biden. If you believe it, it's true. This is what they're starting to let us know about. Let's continue on here. It says, breaking news, Saudi Arabia has signed a $5.6 billion deal with a Chinese company to manufacture electric vehicles. Interestingly, how they're splitting the realm. Again, we talked about the BRICS and the SWIFT systems where they're dividing the monetary type systems. Now we've got Saudi Arabia started to build electric vehicles, and yeah, they're employing China, right? Because China is the Jesuits' new special community to try to push all of their, electric type vehicles. Moving on from that one, it says, well, the entire fake scamdemic, yes, was a fraud. So there's that too, but it goes on to state here how $400 billion in Cerveza aid was stolen or wasted by everyone from social security fraudsters, yes, to, if you can believe it, Texas pastors of all the place. Yes, people here in local where I am in Texas, they were stealing money, and I bet a lot of people stole a lot of money. There was trillions of printed fake money invented for this Cerveza bug outbreak, and we'll get into some more information on that later on here. This one says, if you can believe this, Zuckerberg admits Facebook, quote, fact checkers and, quote, censored information that turned out to be true, damaging trust. Let's hear what the Zuck has to say.
So misinformation, I think, has been a really tricky one, because there are things that are kind of obviously false, right, that are maybe factual, but may not be harmful. So it's like, all right, are you going to censor someone for just being wrong? It's, if there's no kind of harm implication of what they're doing, I think there's a bunch of real kind of issues and challenges there. But then I think that there are other places where it is, just take some of the stuff around COVID earlier on in the pandemic, where there were real health implications, but there hadn't been time to fully vet a bunch of the scientific assumptions. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the kind of establishment on that kind of waffled on a bunch of facts and asked for a bunch of things to be censored that in retrospect ended up being more debatable or true. And that stuff is really tough, right? And really undermines trust in that. And
so, I mean, yes, Mark, everything that you guys have done has really destabilized your trust in your social media site. Now, not only that, but your Facebook group and page had been through the home feed scrolling system, mind controlling people for about 10 years now. So my question is, Mark Zuckerberg, can I have my original Facebook? I've been locked out of my Facebook account for 2 years now with all of my memories. They said they locked me out of it for my own protection and for years. I would like it back as well. YouTube for censoring me and taking my main YouTube channel down that I've had. And if you believe it or not, this is my 10th year anniversary of fighting for the truth this month. I started back in 2013. They took my YouTube, and because of Mark Zuckerberg, they took my other Facebook account because of information that I was speaking that was true. It wasn't for lies, dismiss, or malinformation. I was speaking truth, and they took my account. They took many people's accounts. And yes, justice will be served, and everyone that did all this censoring, they are going to have to pay. So, it's great. You get this great job working for YouTube or Facebook. You get to come in and you think, wow, I finally made it. This is what I dreamed of doing my entire life. And now you're in an office and you become the censor person. And what I want you to know is that you chose this path, and everybody that censors the truth is absolutely going to pay a huge toll for everything that they've done. It doesn't get any more wicked than not allowing voices to be heard and for other people to share their opinions. That's when you know you're in a super communistic, satanic environment. And yes, everyone is going to pay for everything that they've done. Moving on from that one, this one here are some random people involved in pushing various agendas. If you know any of these people on the screen here, you need to stay as far away from them. Yes, including Eric Dubay. Many of these this is another CSIS, CIA intelligence agency from Canada. We've got many people here. If you know any of these people, if you know, especially, Gematria and other satanic Kabbalists, any of these people, including you got Joe Rogan. There's a whole bunch of people on this page that you might be following. You might think that these people are speaking truth, but I got to tell you right now, they're all satanic. They're all working for a big club that you and me and everyone else that wants freedom is not in. So stay as far away from these shills as you possibly can. Did you know about George Soros' son, Alex? Well, George Soros' son, Alex, has been handed control of, yes, his dad's multi-billion-dollar foundation. We've got another article coming in, and here's what Alex is saying. Alex Soros vows to eradicate conservatives from the internet. He says here, I'm 100 times worse than my dad. I don't know. This guy looks like an absolute clown. And I guess he's being used to try to radicalize the so-called conservatives online. Listen, all that they want is to set up a division. Okay, the whole reason that we have a right and left in America is so that you can be divided and controlled. Just like in the occupied state of Palestine, the people that live in Gaza aren't oppressed as badly as you think. They're being used, okay? They're being used to try to target and radicalize people on either side. They don't care if you're pro Jays or if you're pro Gazans. They don't give a damn. They just want you to be in the argument. They want you to pick a side and they want you to argue. But we're going to let you know stuff like this doesn't work, Alex Soros. We're not afraid of you, and you are going to pay for every single thing that you censor and every single thing that you do that's against natural freedom. And we're going to be here to document it all the way through. Tesla shareholder suit says Musk and co. apparently lied about full self-driving safety. I told you we were going to get into this, and we are. We're going to look down here. I'll just read this one article. Quote, it says, we have expertise in developing self-driving systems. Let me zoom in a little bit. And currently offer in our vehicles an advanced driver assist system that we refer to as, they call it, an autopilot, including auto steering, traffic aware cruise control, automated lanes changing, automated parking, summon, and driver warning systems. Our autopilot systems relieve our drivers of the most tedious and potentially dangerous aspects of road travel, said Musk. Now, apparently there's a huge issue going on with these self-driving cars, because when we look, wait, what's this? Just new in recently, 17 fatalities, 736 crashes. The shocking toll of Tesla's autopilot. Now, I had to do a special search just to find you this article because it too is trying to be censored off the internet. But we're going to bring it up. We're going to document it. And we're going to let you know. Stay as far away from anything that tells you that it can self-drive, because it's going to self-drive you and to your family and someone else that you hit death. Okay, stay as far away from anything that's self-driving. Now on to what could be the very biggest topic of the week. Okay, last week we covered on the beginning fires of the Canadian wildfires that are taking place, which, yes, I've explained. If you do the research, you'll find out 100 years ago, 100 years before that, we've had catastrophic fires that take place through the solar cycles. It gets hotter, it gets colder, things burn. But what we're looking at here is a much different story. So when it first came out, we covered it, and what we were looking for on this team was evidence of the smoke as it traveled south. So I have family and relatives that live in southern Ontario. I asked them, hey, did you guys see any smoke? And we got no. So apparently it was only in New York and New Jersey where we had this type of smoke showing up, leading us to believe that actually something else was burning. And check out this person's side of the story. Here, let's hear what she has to say.
Okay, friends. So I live in a town that is about 5 hours north of New York City. Canada is about 2.5 hours north of my town. New York City is covered in a yellow cloud of smog, and they're telling us that it is from the wildfires in Canada. But that yellow cloud of smog never passed over my house, and it would have had to get to New York City. I also want to ask you this question. What color does ammonium nitrate burn?
So moving on with that, she's suggesting that it was the ammonium nitrate. Wait, what's this? Do you remember this? I don't know why this is still playing.
New York City.
Check this out. Do you remember this article? 30 tons of explosive chemical lost during a rail shipment, safety officials state. And yes, as we see the article posted here, 60,000 pounds of an explosive chemical lost during a rail shipment, officials say. And yes, if we scroll down here, a rail car carrying ammonium nitrate, right, less than a month ago, went missing supposedly. So are we going to draw the connections? I'm going to leave that up to the viewer to decide what's taking place here. Now moving on to what's taking place in Antarctica. Right, here we go. We got some government agent show coming out, and he's going to tell you what he was involved in when he served in the Antarctic Scientific
I'm very happy that you're giving me
Check this out.
and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and AARO. They informed me that all of my information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I function in a dual-role capacity as a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibilities required me to be more informed than most of my crew and offered me complete access to the facilities. What I learned from this unique experience needs to be shared with the entire world. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. The Ice Cube Neutrino Detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes of the science as presented. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster than light vehicles moving throughout this system, we're going to need faster than light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons.
So what he's stating is that the science that's being developed and used in the South Pole, they call it, the southern region of the continent of Antarctica, is actually being used to cause earthquakes. So like HARP, the auroral activity, observational and stuff like that is apparently what they're doing here in the south regions of the realm. We'll continue on to listen to a little bit more.
Of war that we have to deal with now and what Raytheon's hiding.
Raytheon is using them as weapons.
There's an ELF system at the South Pole Station that when I arrived, I was told it was off, dismantled, and completely defunct. In my work, I will rapidly just tell you, I had to figure out the circuitry for certain other repairs, and I found that this system is in fact completely energized, up and running, and being utilized with the other systems for nefarious purposes as well. The Atmospheric Research Observatory is in what we call the clean air sector. I witnessed myself a very powerful green laser shooting out of the top of this facility into the cosmos. This, I believe, is a secondary form of long-range communications and or a defense system. I am not saying that we need to be scared of anything that's out there, but please understand the military-industrial complex is happy to invest all of your money in alleviating their fears. A question of power comes into play for all of these facilities that are present. I assure you, I knew what was going on, I knew the load demands of the facility, and all of these new items exceed the demand for the systems that I was presented. I am doing due diligence and research. I believe there is either a secondary power supply there that is either nuclear, that was there prior to the start of the Antarctic Treaty, which prohibits such things, and or that there is some sort of exotic power supply system there that just is not in the verbiage of the treaty, so it negates the responsibility to the parties involved.
finish.
I think that pretty much covers it for time.
So it's interestingly enough that we've got these scientists coming out now. Now, could this be some kind of a blackmail type information that they're using to threaten Russia or these other worlds? No, apparently what they're doing here is they're using these facilities to change the atmosphere, right? To heat up the earth or many other types of things. And I do believe that there is some sort of a wicked agenda being taken place here in the South. And we're going to try to cover that more as we move forward. I thought that was interesting. Thank you to the Goldsmith for sending that in. Has anyone really ever seen evidence of any aliens visiting Earth? Like he was saying that this array system is designed to track vehicles that go faster than the speed of light. I mean, that is just absolute nonsense. All of this alien agenda and this alien talk has got to be some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard, okay? First off, we learned that there's no life in the universe, right? We were taught that there's no evidence of anything in the outer reaches of the sky where we could see any life. But now, because the alien agenda is being pushed so strongly, we've got people coming out from NASA and Raytheon and all these other things, and we're going to find out more as we move forward. But it makes more sense to me that they're actually using these types of places to change the atmosphere. Moving on from that, a few more and we'll get into another song. Did you know that this was the first Ferris wheel that was created in Chicago in 1893? The creator, George W.G. Ferris, as you get the name Ferris wheel from, who used his knowledge of structural steel to design quite a feat for a first, taking up to 40 passengers per carriage. That's a lot. This thing is huge at 50 cents a ride, which would equal about $16 a trip today. Look at the size of some of these things. It's amazing the technology that they had back in, again, what year did I say? 1893 was the first Ferris wheel ever invented. I thought that was cool. Check this one out, the air balloon show, where they were showing everybody what they could do with hydrogen, the first international show, and this was in Paris, France in 1909, and they were showing basically that the new hydrogen type systems were going to be the wave of the future. And then they decided to crash the Hindenburg because they didn't want people to understand how powerful hydrogen really is and how much it could help us. But moving on from that, the WEF bans natural conception. Klaus Schwab doesn't just want you to eat bugs, he also wants you to know that your baby must be grown in a lab by 2030. We're keeping a close eye on that. I could not believe that when it came through the news. Also, vegans apparently are 7 times more than other vegans to have farting problems. I didn't know that, but it's actually true if you do the research on that one. Moving on from that one, eat you some meat out there, okay? Get your proteins, just like the deer that we started the show off, even eating a snake, okay? It says here, the House of Hesse are a military bloodline of the Holy Roman Empire, closely allied with the House of Habsburg and British Crown, and they manage the Rockefeller, which have ancestry from the region of Hesse. And we scroll down here, thank you, Peaceful Quaker, for pointing this out. The founder of Edmund de Rothschild Group purchased large amounts of land in Palestine to form modern-day Israel. The Swiss Rothschilds and the noble barons under the House of Habsburg, which have an alliance with the House of Hesse, Edmund de Rothschild Group uses the Hessian lion also for its logo. As you can see here, this is the Hessian lion down here. We're going to continue to connect the lines and show you who's who and show you how we got to where we are today. That's what we do here on the Rise and Grind. This one coming in, U.S. Space Force goes woke. If you can believe it or not, you have to listen to what this Space Force person has to say. Check this out.
As a cisgender woman in the Department of Defense, I can personally attest to the importance of allies and advocacy. According to a survey conducted in 2021, across the DoD, 19.2% of the total force identified as a female. That is not a great sounding statistic. It means my odds are about 1 in 5 of finding another woman somewhere in the Department of Defense, regardless of age or rank in the military or as a civilian. The number sounds a lot better when you realize it was more than 3 times the number who identify as LGBTQ+ within the DoD. So what does that mean? That means if I struggle to find someone that looks like me today, I am still 3 times more likely to succeed in finding someone who looks like me than someone from the LGBTQ+ community. I know firsthand how hard that can be, because while my odds are 1 in 5, when I was a second lieutenant Bert, those odds were closer to 1 in 20 in 1991. That is why I'm speaking here today, because creating opportunities for conversations where we can find those individuals is critical to readiness and resilience and overall well-being of our force. Transformational cultural change requires leadership from the top, and we do not have time to wait. Since January of this year, more than 400 anti-LGBTQ+ laws have been introduced at the state level. That number is rising and demonstrates a trend that could be dangerous for service members, their families, and the readiness of the force as a whole. When I look at potential candidates, say for squadron command, I strive to match the right person to the right job. I consider their job performance and relevant experience first. However, I also look at their personal circumstances, and their family is also an important factor. If a good match for a job does not feel safe being themselves and performing at their highest potential at a given location, or if their family could be denied critical health care due to the laws in that state, I am compelled to consider a different candidate and perhaps less qualified.
So what she's stating is that if you're not pro-transgender, reassignment surgery, and all these other types of disgusting, harmful activities, you are not welcome in the Space Force. All right, what she's stating, I can't even believe the lengths that they're going to, but yes, it's true. They are absolutely pushing this agenda beyond anything that we ever imagined. And people, let you know, the satanic agenda is the transgender agenda and the LBGT. So, because anything that's not natural, right? You cannot have babies. You can't have a future. Right? The most satanic agenda is to stop the future. Check this out. This is the astrolabe. So the Antikythera mechanism is far grander in design than the astrolabe. However, both devices are designed and constructed on the construct of a geocentric Earth. So the devices that we actually use, like the astrolabe and the Antikytherian device, this thing here can track everything that happens into the sky, and what I want people to understand is this device works on the fact that the Earth is fixed, and it is everything in the sky, including the sun, the moon, and all the stars, including the fixed stars, rotate around us, the fixed observer. And I think this is great. More and more evidence coming out that predicting the motion of celestial bodies using a flat geocentric instrument for over 2,000 years. How about that? Moving on from that one, check this one out. Freemasonry, yes, has their hands in everything. Symbolism is the cause of their downfall, right? The fact that they've been using these symbols to identify with other Freemasonic shills is also how we spot them. When you spot it, you should already know what they're up to. This is Binance's logo, and what we're showing here is they have the compass and the square right built into their logo. If you didn't know about it, now you know. Stay as far away from Binance as you possibly can. And yes, this is right. That's right. This is Palestine. Right. This land was stolen by the Swiss banking cartel headed up by the Rothschild family and the Balfour Declaration, which they used the two world wars to implement a system so that they could take over this land. And they funded the entire thing with the Jesuit banking system, the Vatican. The Pope had his hands in just about everything that was taking place back in World War II. And they wanted to create this state so that they could try to run their psyops. So you can't talk about anybody in this area. So they set up what is the scapegoat. The Jesuits came up with the greatest plan to take everything and put all of the blame onto the so-called Jays because they're addicted to running banks and such things and so on. But what we need to understand is this was the plan. This wasn't the plan of the creator. This was the plan of the fallen demonic agencies. So let's get into a song break. I'm going to see you guys after this. This one is the producer's pick of the week. It's a nice house song. I really like it. I'll see you after this break.
Baby, you're my sunshine, sunshine. Baby, you're my sunshine.
And this brand new hot tune is coming out from Florian Gasparini with Sunshine. Great new tune. Come on, let's get back into the news. Good morning again. Friday, June 16th. I am RJ Shine. We are on time, and let's keep going here. Check this out. This photograph showcases Coca-Cola cans dating back to 1930s. The Coca-Cola company itself, established in 1886, can be attributed to John Sitteth Pemberton, a pharmacist hailing from Columbus, Georgia. Pemberton's initial intent behind inventing Coca-Cola was to create a medicinal beverage aimed at alleviating headaches. Crediting the product's name and logo to Frank N. Robertson, who served as Pembroke's bookkeeper, it is believed that Robertson derived the name from the drink's primary ingredients. If you didn't know this, it actually came from cocoa leaves, which is crazy, and cola nuts. Additionally, Robinson found the use of the two C's visually appealing and thought, hey, the name had an alternative quality to it. As you can see here, look at these old cans of Coke. Stay as far away from pop or any other types of soda as you possibly can. This stuff is toxic. So originally it was made from cocoa leaves and cola nuts. Now it's just made from toxic chemicals. But I thought that was cool to start off the second news segment of the morning with. Let's keep going here. Have you heard about the trans woman? If you ever get to visit the White House, this trans person said, don't be afraid to show Biden your you-know-whats, right? Well, lo and behold, everything was staged. Everything was planned. It looks like that character here, White House bans disrespectful topless trans influencer Rose Montoya. Here she is here with Biden's wife, and Joe Biden himself. This has to be one of the most disgusting stories, to make men lust after other men using surgeries and other types of transgender hormones and sexuality. Now, this was all planned. Don't you for one second not believe that the White House knew exactly what was going to take, what they were about to do, and we have to expose it. Stay as far away from the White House as you possibly can. This might break some of you patriot hearts out there, but here's Putin greeting Dr. Teddy from the WHO and the UN Deputy Secretary General. What we have here, if you thought that Putin wasn't involved in the whole one world order and the takeover of this totalitarian system, you are absolutely wrong. Here we got Putin with Teddy. Moving on from that, we're going to find more about with Teddy. It says here, World Health Organization, WHO, digital health certificate, yes, is one step towards setting WHO up as the power center of what? The one world government. So, okay, we know we have a one world government. It's obvious, okay? They shut the entire world down. Lockstep, boom. They had to, flatten the curve, they said. They shut the entire realm down. The realm is run by one group now. But what I want people to understand is we still have nations, presidents, prime ministers, and other dictators that are leading other countries. They want to abolish all of that. And what they do is they need to have this digital health certification, which is actually going to be used to track and trace you. And again, I said earlier, we are given a creator right to travel throughout this realm, but this is one step closer. And yes, Putin is in step with all of this. And here's Teddy again, quote, "We cannot mince words," he says. "The idea that this accord would cede authority to who's is simply fake news." Let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
The continuing negotiations on the pandemic accord and amendments to the international health regulations are an unprecedented opportunity to learn from the mistakes of the COVID-19 pandemic and ensure they are not repeated. Your challenge as member states is to negotiate a strong accord for approval just 12 months from now. This accord is a generational opportunity that we must seize. We are the generation that lived through the COVID-19 pandemic. So we must be the generation that learns the lessons it taught us and makes the changes to keep future generations safer. In particular, we must work hard to counter the mis and disinformation about the accord that's circulating in many member states. We cannot mince words. The idea that this accord will cede authority to WHO is simply fake news. This is an accord by member states, for member states, and will be implemented in member states in accordance with their own laws.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth himself. They're stating that the WHO takeover of everything, it's just miss, and malinformation, fake news if you believe they're trying to consolidate power and take over our freedoms. Teddy says it's fake news, huh? We think it's real. How about this? Educational interventions, Teddy. Let's talk about that. The WHO sub-regional meeting on strengthening community Ebola acceptance and demand through educational interventions. You need to be very careful that everything that's taken place, they are trying to genocide the populations, and they're doing it without our approval. Now they're talking about educational interventions for the youth. This is getting crazy. We got to cover it here and keep it documented. The gloves are off. Now we're going to get into the Donald J. Trump story. Yes, they've caught Donald J. Trump again. Here's this type of dismount. Listen to this.
Is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people.
Look at this nonsense propaganda. Hollywood. One world order. United Nations. Trump's gonna save us, everybody. The evil, corrupt Biden.
A small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost.
It's true.
The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country.
Nope. killing them. You signed the deal.
Changes starting right here
Right now.
and right now.
Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Here comes Trump. He's coming back, everybody. Get ready. The Zionist control. All I know is that Trump is an absolute shill Satanist, and we're going to continue to cover how much of a Zionist he really is. Let's keep going with these stories here. We got more to talk about Donald the Trump. The cuck Trump here. Wow. Restaurant diners sing happy birthday. Listen to this. This was the day that he was taken into court.
What a great group of people. What a great group.
This is crazy. So this was the same day that he went into court. He's back in court. We covered it last week. Every single week, Trump is being brought into court. I have never seen, well, closely this resembles what they did with Netanyahu over in the occupied state of Palestine, but this is on a much grander scale. And if you didn't know, MAGA, M-A-G-A, is the fifth and highest degree of the Church of Satan. Just so you know who's in charge here. Moving on from that, here we had this breaking. An anti-Trump protester was tackled. So now they have people chasing the motorcade and everything that's going on with Trump. Again, this was in Florida when he was going in for his newest arraignment. And that's not even the end of it. Oh, here it is here. Here he goes. Take him down. Take him down, like it's not staged and scripted like everything else in this crazy-ass fake clown realm. And here they go. After they sang him happy birthday, we've got the rabbi and we got people in yarmulkes. They're all huddled around him. And listen, they're praying.
Excuse my ignorance that I did not, but let's listen.
Put their hands on. Can't really hear what... Listen, anybody that's praying in public is doing it so that they can be seen, and they're absolutely against what we were told by the Christ, the Son of the living Creator. You are to pray in private. Where your Father is found, he's not going to be found out here in the everyday goings on. No, he's found inside your heart. The Creator is inside you, and he cannot be prayed in by people wearing yarmulkes covering their head because they believe this hides their evil thoughts from the Creator. He can still read your evil thoughts. But continuing on to this whole entire Trump crazy saga, here we have him doing the 2 thumbs up. You can barely see it. This is CNN. Donald Trump appeared before a federal magistrate judge in Miami on Tuesday afternoon for a moment unprecedented in American history as the former president pleaded not guilty, this time to 37 felony counts related to his alleged mishandling of classified national security documents after leaving the White House. I mean, it just can't get it can't get crazier than this. We cannot have a more scripted fake reality. But yes, moving on, former President Trump then was released that day from the courtroom without any conditions as the judge did not view him as a potential flight risk. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. The entire thing is fake and scripted just to keep him in the news headlines here. We got here, this is the crazy scripted propaganda on a level we have never seen before. Here we got the human moment we all miss. It says Trump's granddaughter, as you can see here in this picture, was waiting for him on his plane. It says Trump's granddaughter was waiting on his plane to greet him after Joe Biden ordered his arrest. She was watching the live as Grandpa was arrested. When Trump got on the plane, she said, "Happy birthday, Grandpa," and they rode together on the rest of the flight. I mean, what kind of propaganda, how sick can this get? The stories that they're painting, the way that they're lifting this guy up, I'm pretty certain that this is going to end up being the guy who takes over takes over the United Nations, and they're going to give all power to Donald the Cuck Trump. He even said he could run in Israel and he would win by a landslide over Netanyahu. Unbelievable what's going on there. Why is this not showing? Let's do a refresh and see if we can get this up. Boom. This new article coming off the Jerusalem Post. If you didn't know, Jean Carroll can now pursue another lawsuit against Trump for $10 million, apparently because at the CNN town hall where Trump called Carroll's account fake and labeled her as a whack job. So she's about to now take him to court for $10 million too. Right? I wonder when is this going to end? It's getting absolutely ridiculous. Trump, this is what he said. If you put me back in the White House, their reign will be over. Scrolling down here, it says we're going to have one or the other. And we're right at the tipping point. Right now, we're We are way leaning toward deep state, but deep state isn't strong enough, he says. It's really a communist country and a Marxist country. Deep state's not strong enough. Deep state, that was a nice term compared to what we're doing. He said either the communists destroy America or we destroy America, says Trump. I'll read between the lines for you. I can't even believe some of the content that's coming out for this guy. Let's go on to another one of Trump's close companions. We got Rudy Giuliani with Rabbi Moshe Rivon Azman. Has strong ties to the people around the U.S. President Donald Trump, as well influential senators and congressmen from both parties. As you can see, who runs the show. The Jesuits set up the tiny hats and the larger but still smaller hat people to run the things, and everything is completely controlled and operated. And we're going to continue to document it each and every week. Don't you worry about that. Have you heard about the crazy fires in the Netherlands? Check this out. They are burning stuff down in the Netherlands. This one's crazy. I don't know if you caught this. This was new, but yeah, they're apparently in the Netherlands. They've had some huge, crazy fires. It just looks like they're burning everything down. Everywhere we look, fires, 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 which sort of was predicted in the scriptures. If you want to know the truth about it, the earth is going to burn everything. I just didn't know it was going to be the communists and the Satanists that were actually going to light the fires, but that's exactly what we have here. Continuing on, we got a few more. We'll do another song. Did you know that the Biden family created 20 shell corporations to funnel $10 million from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and laughing all the way to the bank? And Trump's facing life in prison, they say, over processes of crimes. Trump's lawyer, U.S. legal systems, is the words I can't use on TV, she says. So this is who's representing Trump in his latest indictments. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Crazy, they got Trump again today. Wow, another Groundhog Day. Moving on, could this be the real reason that Trump was indicted? Like I had told you earlier, they want two sides. They don't care who you choose. You can go with the communist side or you can go with the Trump side. It's up to you. They just want you divided. This one says, could this be the reason? Are you paying attention, or are you really paying attention? We have the bank and money transfer records of Joe Biden and the Biden crime family were receiving laundered money from the foreign sources, including, yes, Chinese intelligence, and even more specifically, the Chinese Communist Party itself. Right, so we have active evidence that not only was Biden receiving money from the Chinese occupied Communist Party, but also we covered earlier that Chuck Grassley said that Zelensky had blackmail on both Biden and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. So continuing to stack upon stack information that we wanted you to know. Let's hear what Alex Jones has to say before we get into another song break.
Well, trying to state evil very simply, but powerfully is also very frustrating. But here's what it comes down to. The globalists have declared we're obsolete. They've stolen the future. And if we let them do that, we really deserve what happens to us. And to me, it's very frustrating and outrageous that these hunchback devil worshipers like Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari and, I mean, literal Dr. Evil types, they want power, they want control, so they're in charge. And then the average person just follows along and lets these predators attack you. And it's really done out of selfishness and out of laziness. People really think they get ahead by not caring. And that's why we are in big trouble. And these psychos can't help but test their bioweapons and their electromagnetic systems on us. They're mad scientists. And the fact they keep getting away with stuff, they believe their will to power must be exercised. And so they've got to kill a bunch of us. They've got to poison us. They've got to create animal-human hybrids and cross-species clones and all of this, or they're not exercising their godhood. And these are their statements I'm giving you. And again,
I swear to God I've been here before. Now every room is a room that you ain't in anymore. And if time is mercy, well, you must still hurting. I don't think about you till I talk. But I let ton wounds, yeah, echo
that brand new song by CVBZ, Time is Mercy. Come on, let's get back into some news. We've got some more links, we got some more tabs, and we got some more great music planned for the rest of the podcast. Did you know that they're stating here that the video phone telephone was invented in 1945 to 1955? The technology, they say, already existed. The only problem with this is that there's no cameras anywhere, and they didn't have digital cameras in 1945 to the 1955s. Every kind of camera that they had, you had to crank to get the information out or to record it. So my question is, did they actually have this technology? I'll leave that up to you, the viewer, to decide. Let's go. We got some more stuff to look at. Hydrogen electric vehicles, they say here, a game changer for the environment. Absolutely. They're starting to move ahead with hydrogen fuel cell technologies. Again, this is going to be the wave of the future. We want to continue to promote that people understand that through hydrogen power, through fuel cells, you could take a little container, you can put hydrogen in it in a dried form, you can plug that into your car, and you can have a up to 500-mile fuel cell that you can instantly change out, click in another one, and you can run for another 500 miles. This is the technology that I'm really excited to see move as we move forward into the future and into the kingdom. We're going to see more and more of this. Continuing on, their next news link of the morning. Pictures of real Ukraine, it says. You better be ready. This is an alarming clip. I'm warning. This is some crazy stuff going on here. They said it's real, right? This is real? No, they say it's real, and then they show you a staged, scripted place where they've burnt down everything. It's funny, one of the commenters said, real picture proceeds to play fake video. So, again, the whole entire hoax of World War III, we're going to continue to point it out that it's rumors, it's not real, it's staged, scripted events. Moving on from that, here we go. As Canada supposedly burns down, except nobody in Canada is seeing the smoke. It's only being shown up in New York and in New Jersey. Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, the cuck, arrived in Kyiv, Ukraine. His country is in flames, and the best thing he could do was make a surprise visit to the Ukraine. We got more to cover on this. Check this out. Here he is here, greeting. This is emotional. Everybody be prepared. This is some beautiful stuff here. Here they are. So beautiful. Canada flying beside the Ukrainian flag. I'm so proud to be a Canadian. This is... Here they come. There's Zelensky. Yes. There he is. He's great. Here comes Justin. Yes. Viva la Canada. Right. Freedom. Here they come. They're going to have an endearing hug. This is beautiful. I mean, I'm so proud of my country. And, where do I donate? I got to start donating to the Ukraine. Oh, this is so beautiful to see this monumental World War III. You got to go there and you got to shake hands and hug and then do photo shoots to save the world. I mean, it doesn't get more retarded and scripted reality than this. I mean, isn't there better things that we could have the leaders of the countries doing right now? How about trying to understand what's going on with the poverty in your country?
For everything you did for us.
Everything. Thank you, Justin.
People, refugees, and
taking all our refugees.
I appreciate your own support. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
People of Canada, of course, to all your team.
No sniffles there, Zelensky.
Parliament really, it's so necessary help.
Necessary.
With us from first days of full scale.
It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trudeau.
We really are ready to do what we can. Of course, with this...
Get it out. Wildfires.
We are ready to help Canada.
Help.
I know that you have good partners in it.
Good partners. South America, Africans.
Your people. And so,
thank you.
There with as much as it takes, for as long as it takes, whether it's
money,
the continuing impact of Russia's brutal invasion, whether it's the effect of the dam breaking on a terrible time, and
the dam breaking.
We will continue to be there as we always are.
Look at how retarded this realm is. I kid you not. This is really World War III. This is it here. I kid you not. This is how World War III is taking place. Let's continue on here. We got more on Justin the Truth He Don't, the cuck of Canada. Moving on. Here we go. Another $500 million. I say enough. This apparently, how can they give more money to the Zelensky coke addict group? I don't know. I really don't know how they can give any more, but they're trying to give more. They're going to print up more money. But again, climate change and who did this? This is absolutely hilarious. Blackface Justin Trudeau actually lighting the fires. Let's continue on with this. This is an interesting story here. We're going to scroll down after. Canada's out of control fires are what? Planned, an expert warns. Let's hear what this expert has to say. I want to hear what he has to say.
Good morning, everybody. I wanted to touch on this one this morning. It's getting so bad that I don't think people really truly understand what's going on. If you haven't heard the latest up here in Canada, BC's on fire. East Coast is on fire, and now Quebec. Quebec, all in one day, the entire province caught fire on a beautiful day. This is planned, and I'll tell you why it's planned. They want to move people out of the countryside into cities. Then they want to lock them down in 15-minute cities. How do you do that? Contaminate the air, contaminate the water, and so on. They started contaminating the water, as you know, in the past few months. And now with train derailments and all that stuff, all across North America, not just in Canada. And that was purposefully done to contaminate water sources and then justify people's relocation by saying the water is contaminated, you can't stay here, or the air is contaminated, you can't stay here. Relocating them into whatever, hotels or different establishments within city limits. This is all a ploy and a plan to get people into cities to implement their smart cities, and it's the only way they can control you. First, they have to go to digital currency and get you into smart cities. This is happening, and this is real. This is evil. This is pure evil. It's our time to fight back. We need to, I'm actually totally surprised that there isn't complete and utter outrage and an uprising like this world has never seen before. Because this is what we need to take our countries back. Complete outrage and an uprising. Nothing less is going to do. Nothing less is going to make this place a better world. I mean, we have to take our country back. And the way we do that is we expel those that are destroying our way of life. And what I mean by exposing them is getting them out of power, forcing them one way or the other. They don't want to go willingly. That's fine. We'll help them out the door.
Well, I mean, this is a good citizen. I'm glad this guy stood up and is speaking his mind and telling the truth. Let's go to a song break, and we'll do some more news when we come back.
Get down. It's the vibe. Yeah, baby.
And that brand new one from Armodyne with Stuck on You, the synth edit. Back into some more news of the morning, and did you know with the wildfires blazing in Canada, we showed last week that they're not employing retired firefighters that are in the regions of Canada that are burning, that know the areas. They're actually sending South Africans. Hundreds of firefighters are being trained right now in South Africa. If you can believe this, this is actually what they're showing. These South Africans are supposedly the ones that are going to come and save Canada from the fires. This is real news. This is really what they're saying. South Africa sends hundreds of firefighters to Canada, right? Why are they not employing Canadians to take out the fires? I have no idea. Maybe they're going to let them burn. I don't know. We'll see what continues on with that. Moving on with more nauseating Trudeau news. Trudeau says that parents should not have to be informed if their children under the age of 16 decide to change their gender identity. Like, how crazy can this realm possibly get? People, excuse me, keep your kids as far away from schools and Justin Trudeau and this satanic, sick agenda as you possibly can. I can't even believe, look at this. This is your prime minister here. This is him. This is disgusting. Also, if you didn't know, Justin Trudeau paid a huge settlement out when he had sexual activity with an underage woman before he became Prime Minister of Canada. We'll cover that in another podcast, so make sure that you stay tuned. Have you seen this? How much of a conspiracy theorist are you, it says. Looking at this, it's incredible the similarities between the man on the $20 bill and Epstein. You can see here they've got all the same markers. We've got all the different scars and dimples and different features matching the guy that's on the $20 bill. If you haven't seen, now you've seen. Check that out. Moving on from this one, BlackRock, the big three. Now we're going to start to talk about BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. You might not have heard of State Street. It's another company owned by BlackRock, and the index funds owns shares in the entire industry segments. This allows them to force woke ideology on companies without worrying that it might hurt their bottom line. It says here they own all shares in Molson Coors Brewing Company. As of March 31st, 2023, BlackRock owned 14.7 million shares of Molson Coors, which is valued at approximately $750 million. Vanguard owns 13.3 million shares. So if one company is going woke for broke or going broke for woke, the big three don't really care. So on the other side of the screen, you've heard that all these different companies with this whole Dylan McIlvaney thing, you're seeing that them go under, right? They print the money here. It says they don't mind one of their other companies will actually just pick up the slack. So as we can see, the information's coming out. They're purposely sinking these companies. The reason they're doing it is to move the Overton window. The Overton window is an accepted ideology or a thought process where the public themselves are agreeing with something. To move the agenda more satanic, more sick, what they need to do is promote the most disgusting things that they can, and then they'll move you back a little bit and you'll be in the middle. That's what the Overton window is, and that's exactly what these big three are doing. Do not be fooled. They're absolutely sinking their own companies so that they can get the subliminal satanic agenda out. And we're going to document it here. If you are anybody that has used Botox or thinking about using Botox, I strongly recommend that you don't. It says Botox ugly side effects run deeper than skin. They actually alter your mind and numb your emotions. Studies are coming out that the Botox is actually lobotomizing people's ability to have emotion. Stay as far away from Botox. Listen, scars are earned. Wrinkles are earned. Gray hairs are earned. Okay? Be proud of who you are and love who you are. Don't go and get any Botox or anything like that. The Rothschilds magazine, The Economist, here, quote, an economy that doesn't have enough kids. How declining birth rates will change the realm. So they're literally sinking the birth rate. They're literally genociding the countries through what Gates said. If we did a really good job with Jabolas, we can lower this number down to zero. They're absolutely on their way to lowering the number down to zero. And then they come out on the other side of their mouth and say that the baby bust economy and how to profit in the baby bust economy, right? Moving on from that one of the most violent suspects arrested, if you didn't catch that brawl last week outside of a school over the whole transgender agenda, it turns out that one of the members that was in the brawl that started it was actually an Antifa member, Eric Boyd. So we just want to point out that all of this is scripted, all of this is staged, and they're doing this because they're trying to move the Overton window with this agenda here too, and they're using set up COINTEL agents. They're using CIA, they're using Antifa, and they're using it. His bail was set at $10,000 and quickly covered, and he was back free. This Antifa member who started violent fights over this. They want to indoctrinate your children into the satanic agenda, and if you don't go along with it, they're going to send members like Eric Boyd to try and start fights. Well, Eric, you better stay as far away from me and my friends, because your fight is not going to end the way that you want it to go. Moving on from that one, a couple more. Did you know that Hillary Clinton was rushed to hospital the same day Robo Biden is taken in for an emergency root canal, and the same time that the Pope is recovering in the hospital? Yeah, this is coming out. Hillary Clinton rushed by ambulance to the emergency room. As we can see, we're not getting any Hillary Clinton running for president anymore, are we? Last one of the morning before we get into some memes. 6 ways to detox your mind. This is very important. Let's take our time here and let's look at these, okay? Number 1, start unfollowing. So this is ways to declutter, and to detox your mind, right? Number 1, start unfollowing. Unfollow people who do not make you feel inspired, informed, or empowered. Instead, start following and hanging out with like-minded who help you. Learn new things. Feel happy and motivated. Get better advice, right? Defeat arrogance in you. Defeat the ego. The ego, it can't be completely eradicated, but when it does show up, there are techniques where you can just completely defeat it each and every time. I don't want to come out here and tell you guys that I've defeated the ego, because I defeat the ego every single day, and you can do it too. It starts by following people that make you feel good about who you are and staying far away from people that make you feel any other way. Start unfollowing people. Number 2, start writing. Right. Writing is a way to bring your thoughts into this real reality or virtual reality that we're in. Try setting a timer for 30 minutes and start writing about everything that is bothering you. Writing helps you with communicating clearly, gains awareness of reality, and also make better decisions. Start writing. Number 3, practice meditation. Are you practicing meditating? I definitely promote that you go out into a forest, lean yourself against a tree, and start just recognizing the beauty all around you, the sounds, the colors, the smells. Breathe. It starts with the breath and the relaxation of the mind. So meditation is to the mind what exercise is to the body. Just doing 15 minutes of meditation every day will really help you, okay? It'll reduce stress, it'll control anxiety, strong memories will start to be improved, it'll improve your sleeping, and it'll also help you fight addictions, right? So start practicing more meditation. Number 4, focus on the big picture. Don't lose your motivation by focusing on short-term goals. Write down a list of your long-term goals too. This is key, because you can reach the short-term goals, then you're going to plateau and you're going to start to go down. Continue to make long-term goals, ones that are very difficult to reach, and fight to get them. It says here, keep it in your mind as you're cycling through your day-to-day tasks. It's easy to get caught up in the minute details when you forget why. So again, focus on the big picture. Number 5, acceptance is peace. No amount of anxiety will change your future, and no amount of regret will change your past. What's happened has happened, and what's going to happen hasn't happened. So you still have the chance to decide what is going to be happening. Remember to accept things peacefully. Peace is found, yes, in acceptance. Accept imperfection, accept uncertainty, and accept the uncontrollable. If you want peace, you must accept it. Number 6, last but not least, go on and ask yourself, are there any dead relationships in my life that I am holding on to? If the answer is yes, try letting them go. You will feel much lighter. What aspects of my life can I improve by removing things that aren't working? Find those areas and start improving now. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time is right now. Start planting trees, start meditating, start doing these things, write it down, and continue to work on becoming your best true self. In the face of adversity, learn to fly and become the best that you can possibly be. I'll see you guys after this break.
Single word been through hell, killing me in my dreams. So sick of tasting nothing but this blood in my mouth. Chose by this moment, drowning you and me. Hated, ever changing, lose myself in it. Could you blow me apart, 'cause it's my last wish. Happy to ruin it all, you love the loneliness. And in this casket, buried with hope, love, tombstone reads R.I.P. to love again. R.I.P. Here to rise like the lost, forget me. I'll stay caught in the past, because regrets a liar. The love you left me, I just can't escape. No, got my heart up in a tourniquet. Yeah, can't replace. R.I.P. love's all for nothing. Could you blow me apart, 'cause it's my last wish. Happy to ruin it all, you love the loneliness. And in this casket, buried with hope, love, tombstone reads R.I.P. to love again.
Ooh, what a great new song. That was Outloved Ocean Sleeper with Tourniquet. What a great one. As we go through the podcast, we like to turn it up a little bit. Come on, let's get into some memes before we go about our Friday. Did you know the truth is, yes, like a dog whistle? Only certain people can hear it. And I know you on the other side of the screen that's tuned in, I know that you can hear and feel truth. You can feel it too, not only hear it. Check this out. It says here, we're not forcing you, they say. We're just taking away everything you need until you consent. They call this choice, right? Choose to be free. Choose to stand up for your freedoms and walk away from any totalitarian nonsense. This one here, we're continuing to point out all wars are staged fictitious hoaxes. This is back from the Civil War that took place here in the United States of America, and you can see this reenactment. This is not a reenactment. This is supposedly a real photo from the war, and here you got the two sides. Are they really fighting, or is it all fake? Was it all staged and used for political agendas? I'll leave that up to you. Maybe we'll get into a deeper dive into that in the future here. Our world is run by, yes, Satanists. Every single one of them, all working lock and step. I wouldn't be surprised if these men here on the screen actually did satanic rituals and they are being possessed by fallen angel Nephilim type beings. That's exactly the only answer I can give you as to how they're able to do such heinous, insidious things to the population. It's because they want to destroy it, because they're actually condemned Nephilim spirits running the consciousness of these men on the screen right now. Moving on from that one, this says there's no evidence that the you-know-whats saved a single life, yet plenty of evidence that, yeah, they ended very many, right? We're not upset that we didn't go along with your agenda, your One World Trade Center agenda that you've used, and we're going to continue to stand up and fight back at all costs. And again, yeah, here we go. Well, we've got Trump Day again. I mean, is this going to be the next story until they put him back in office? They're going to continue to bring him in. They're using the news cycle of all these indictments to continue to popularize Trump. Now they've got his granddaughter crying that he's being arrested on his birthday. He was indicted and brought into court on his own birthday. I mean, I have never seen an agenda so strong as this one, but we're going to continue to call it out. You know, he's the Pharaoh, right? I mean, is he the good guy? Is he the bad guy? Is the Antichrist? Is he the savior? I mean, I'll leave that up for you guys to decide, but I know for sure that he's a Zionist puppet being controlled by the Rothschild family. We showed it last week. If you didn't tune in, look at last week's podcast, please. If you missed that, we go into detail and showed exactly how the Rothschild banking cartel, head by Wilbur Ross, actually bailed out Trump and said that his name was too powerful for us to just let go. They own every single thing about Donald Trump, and he does every single thing that they tell him. Here we got, for purposes of fighting the greatest witch hunt of all time, now moving to the Florida courts, I will be represented by Todd Blanche, Esquire, and a firm to be named later. I want to thank Jim Trusty and John Rowley, and apparently every time we hear this guy talk, it's just name dropping, right? What do they go on to state? We're up against a very dishonest, corrupt, evil, sick group of people. Not like you're all of these things too, Donald. We'll be announcing additional lawyers in the coming days. When will Joe Biden be indicted for his many crimes against the nation? And they go on to drop the fifth and highest degree of the church and Satan, MAGA, right? As you see, here it all is. And how about this cuck? I sold my soul. Can you tell? Yeah, we absolutely can tell, Justin. Every single week, we're going to continue to call it out. You know, why won't Justin Trudeau have a conversation with me publicly? We can go over all of his agendas and all the different things. There's no way this man would ever have a sit down and talk to anybody that's real. They keep everything controlled, and it's all staged and scripted nonsense. Just like this, the moon landing, Stanley Kubrick's greatest film. If you didn't know, NASA hired Stanley Kubrick to fake the moon landing. Okay, the evidence is out there. If you still believe we went to the moon, I have a bridge for sale. But the evidence is coming out, the pictures are being shown, everything is being dripped out, and we think it is hilarious. Let's do a few more and we'll go into another song here. Let's do this one here. What people think the Antichrist will promote, right? Division, government control, tyrannical systems, and oppression, right? No. What the Antichrist is actually going to promote is the destruction of these things. Unity, self-empowerment, social justice, and liberation. That is what Trump's team is doing right now. They're saying we're going to defeat this side, right? So that we can have this side. This is exactly what the Trump and co foundations are actually doing. Let's do another song break. I'll see you after this.
Every part of me here is
What a new track. That was Written by Wolves with Take Me Home. Come on, let's get into a few more memes before we go about our Friday. Check this one out. Only the weakest of males want to physically compete with women. Only the weakest of intellects celebrate them, right? This couldn't be further. This is the truth, right? This is the absolute truth. And why other men want to go against women is beyond me. I can't figure it out. I cannot figure it out. I want to go against the top athletes, the top strengthened male. I want to be, if I'm going to be known as the best, I want to take on the best. Why would anyone want to take on a woman in a male's position? It's beyond me, but again, this is part of the satanic totalitarian agenda, right? A few more here. Check this one out. Prison for the body, right? Prison for the mind, right? Get as far away from the heliocentric nonsense as you possibly can. Tonight, please look for the update. We're going to be live Flat Earth Fridays on the Awake Souls YouTube channel. We're going to be covering more dismiss and malinformation out with the Flat Earth. And we hope that you show up and that you enjoy our nighttime streams too. There's as much fun, if not more information will be given out because I'll have Jason helping me. And that'll be great. I can't wait for that. So tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Central, okay? Check this out. When you can't prove is an experiment. Quote from Albert Einstein. I have come to believe that the motion of the earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment. So if you can't prove it, it's only a thought or a belief, right? And the most important meme of the morning, the nuclear war hoax, the myth of the atomic weapon. It says here, A-bombs were invented by science fiction writer H.G. Wells. Just like they faked the moon landing with director Stanley Kubrick. The top secret Manhattan Project was a work of fantasy and a scaremongering propaganda tactic. The nuclear war hoax was used to siphon money and to supposedly end World War II. Evidence proves that the U.S. dropped napalm carpet fire bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Nukes don't exist, okay? It's fake. They are technologically impossible. Impossibility. They are a technological impossibility. Compressing uranium metal to double density with a neutron in between to ignite an uncontrolled explosion is fiction. It's fake. Do not be fooled anymore by the news hoax. Okay? And don't be fooled by this agenda too. 2020, they had this. 2021, they had this. 2022, they had this. And yeah, 2023, they definitely have this. Let's check this out. Have you guys heard of this beatboxing bird? Check this out. We'll go to a sound break after this. He's going to keep it going. It's got some longevity. Beatboxing bird, if you can believe it. Still going.
save me, 'cause we're hanging off the edge, nearly breaking. Now you're all up in your head and we say things that we know we don't really mean. And we're tired, 'cause we ain't sleeping at all in the fire. Bring us closer to the fall. If we go down, we'll go down in flames. If it doesn't last forever, at least we'll always say we tried. If it's gonna fade to never, at least we'll always burn it bright. Oh, 'cause if this is all that we are, shadows and love in the dark, hold on till we fall apart. And if it doesn't last forever, at least we'll always say we tried. Stop me, yeah, I'll take it to the grave, let it haunt me. What are we even trying to save? If we go down, we'll go down in flames. If it doesn't last forever, at least we'll always say we tried. If it's gonna fade to never, at least we'll always burn it bright. Oh, 'cause if this is all that we are, shadows and love in the dark, hold on till we fall apart. And if it doesn't last forever, at least we'll always say we tried. At least we'll always say we tried. At least we'll always say we tried. If it doesn't last forever, it's gonna fade to never. If we're gonna fall together, at least you tell me to the sky. If it doesn't last forever, at least we'll always say we tried.
And that brand new one by William Black and Jordan Shaw with Last Forever. Thank you for tuning in again. Let's get through this final section of the morning show and then we can go about our days. Again, men, get out there and build something. Women, nurture something. Follow your true heart and trust your path. Free yourself from all ties or limitations. It's better to disappoint people with your truth than to live a life of inauthenticity. What you want requires you to actually be real with yourself. When things aren't exactly your way, take it as an opportunity to be grateful, right? Be grateful. Start every day with a grateful heart for the present moment, and that will give you the hope to keep moving forward. There are so many great things coming for you and so many blessings to look forward to. So trust yourself and your path, okay? And know that you are worthy and you are worth everything in this creation, and know your self-worth. Promise yourself that you will stop attaching your self-worth to things that exist outside of you. Things like your job, where you live, your achievements, your perceived failures, opinions, and approvals of others. Never give your power to external factors, or it will actually rule your state of being. Don't allow them to control your mood or how you feel. Honor the person you are at your core every single day, and don't ever back down. Become who you are and be strong, be powerful, fight for truth, write blogs, make videos, get involved, stop fence sitting. Through morphic resonance, it doesn't matter. I can do this podcast off air, and every single person in the realm will subconsciously feel everything that we do here on The Rise and Grind. And everything that you do and all the positivity that you feel in your heart, everyone else can feel too. So be cognizant of these things, okay? And start becoming more powerful and understand your self-worth. Please, please. Also, you need to work on transcendence. Transcend. You attract what you are and you create what you think. Act and think like the person you actually want to become. Nothing changes in your life unless you make the decision and commitment to change it. Hold an image in your mind of how you wish to see yourself living, how you wish to see your body, how you wish to see yourself, how you wish to become who you want to be. Listen, 4 years ago, I was almost 500 pounds. Right? I've lost over 200 pounds now. And I started through holding in mind how I wanted to look. Now, I didn't think I was going to roll my hair out, and there's other things that have surprised me, but I started with the visualization. So continue to visualize it every day, and your subconscious will actually start doing things that will move you towards that goal. And I promise you, I am proof of it. Okay? I also I've also suffered from all types of educational issues with dyslexia and stuttering and all types of things, but yet here I am on camera doing a content show that lasts 2 hours without any help besides the producer who works hard behind the scenes every day. And I do it because I visualize who I am and who I want to become, and I work at it every single day. So come on, join with me, take my hand, let's transcend together. This one here is probably the most important meme. Mindful sleep. Okay, invite your body and mind to heal as you rest. Make sleep a mindful practice. Okay, you are transitioning from one reality to another. Focus on your breathing and then bring your mind's attention to the present without drifting into concerns about the past or the future. Continue to, at nighttime, create a calm environment for you and your family. Turn the lights down, put on soft music, stay as far away from the news as you can. Try not to scroll as much on social media. Make your nighttime routine very peaceful. Make it mindful and become more rested, and you're going to have more energy throughout your day. And the last but not least, maturity. Right? Maturity has nothing to do with age. It's a state of mind. So don't be fooled into thinking otherwise. Maturity begins when we're content to feel we're right about something, without feeling the necessity to prove someone else is wrong. When you are able to be patient, and in an impatient society, when you can walk away from things that disturb your peace, when you do what's right, that is when you've matured. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a really enjoyable podcast. Today is Friday, June 16th. The time is now 8:08 in the Central Standard Time. Make sure you tune in tonight on the Awake Souls YouTube at 8 p.m. Central, as we're going to get into Flat Earth Friday. Again, just go out. If you're a man, build something today. Fix something. Play catch with your kids. Okay, if you're a woman, nurture something. Do some gardening. Do something that sets your soul free and become who you truly are, okay? Thank you for tuning in. This has got to be the most important thing that I've ever done in my entire life. It's just to get up here every single day. It doesn't matter. Rain, sun, shine, sickness, everything. We get up, we do our best, we don't make excuses, and we want to have you embody that same power, that same passion. Stand up, be strong, use your voice. Don't consent to the New World Order tyrannical takeover. Stand up for your freedoms. Love your families, love your friends, and be the best person that you can possibly be. Exercise, eat healthy, get sunlight, radiate truth, and also try to find as much good new music as you can. Thank you for tuning in. Huge shout out to the Goldsmith. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for the content, and thank you all for tuning in. I will see you guys tonight and Sunday, and yes, as always, next Friday morning. This has been Rise and Grind. I am RJ Shine, and I will see you later. Bye.
Stuck in the dark, but then lightning. Down in the deep end, you'll find me. Something about you feels so damn right. Heartbeat hits like it's thunder. Now your waves pull me under. Something about you that I can't fight. You don't have to wait. You're all I want. Won't hesitate. I breathe you in, hallucinate. Open and closed. You need to know that you don't have to wait. You're all I want. Won't hesitate. I breathe you in, hallucinate. Open and closed. You won't hesitate. I breathe you in, hallucinate, open and closed. You need to know that you don't have to wait. You're all I want, won't hesitate. I breathe you in, hallucinate, open and closed. You need to know that you don't have to wait. 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 You don't have to wait.